I work in finance, and buy now, pay later is a scam. But first, a fit check for the one time.
Oh my god, bro.
I was working on revamping the channel. I know my loyal 6 subscribers were really wondering where I was. I didn't think just doing a voiceover gameplay with no visuals, hardly any editing was gonna work out. Anyways, I saw something that came out recently that it pisses me off so much. DoorDash has partnered with Klarna to offer buy now, pay later services.
Launch a new partnership between DoorDash and Klarna lets customers eat now and pay later. Customers who use the DoorDash app will see the option to pay with Klarna. They then can select pay in full, pay in 4 equal interest-free payments on a bill of $35 or more.
That's just insane to me. Like, I have no words. Obviously, I do have words because I'm making this, but basically, this allows consumers to purchase items and spread out the entire payment into installments. Usually, this is over a time period. Typically, it's 4 to 6 weeks or equal installments. So if you buy something for $100, you can do it like 4 equal payments of $25. There are huge companies like Afterpay, Klarna, Affirm, and even PayPal. I'm sure there's many other smaller companies that are offering services like these, but these are the big dogs. The typical process is that at checkout, if you don't already have an account with one of these, you undergo a soft credit check, which you can get instant approval, and then you make the first payment at checkout, but then you pay the rest in installments. A lot of these short-term buy now, pay later options don't charge interest if paid on time, and that makes them seem more attractive than credit cards. But keep in mind, that is on time. So buy now, pay later has had a really big rise in popularity. According to Allied Market Research report, the buy now, pay later market is expected to reach $3.98 trillion by 2030 and growing at a compound annual growth rate of 45.7% from 2021 to 2030. I don't know about you, but 45.7% is a lot of money. This really rose in popularity when COVID hit. The pandemic accelerated buy now, pay later because everybody was shopping online. A lot of people were getting laid off, so splitting this one large payment into separate, multiple smaller payments seemed this is the better option for them. Buy now, pay later seems appealing. I know, I promise it does, but it can be financially risky. There's a lot of psychological traps of buy now, pay later. It removes the pain of paying and delaying it. I've almost gotten into these just because I'm just like, wow, I can get it now for a lot cheaper and not have to pay the full $100 or whatever. The neurochemical reward associated with making a purchase, buy now, pay later, directly feeds into that, almost as bad as TikTok. Delayed gratification and instant gratification are wonders of the world at this point, and they prey on people who struggle with that. Buy now, pay later also gives you the illusion that you can afford these items. Splitting a $200 purchase into 4 $50 payments feels more manageable, but you're still paying that $200. It's just split over a certain amount of time. Multiple buy now, pay later purchases can quickly add up to significant amounts. You buy one thing, you're like, cool, I only have to pay $50 and I already own it. So you do it again, another $200 purchase. You keep doing it and doing it. People disregard the initial lump sum amount, but quickly fail to realize that these smaller installments quickly add up and can quickly destroy any liquidity that you had. This is also really hard for people who are overconfident in their financial management. You know, the Dunning-Kruger effect plays into this a little bit with financial literacy, that a lot of people overestimate their ability to manage complex financial situations. Hardly anyone takes a look at their statements on a regular basis. A lot of people have like casual financial knowledge, and yet they think that they can handle like these multiple payments stacking up like month to month and week to week. At a certain point, if you're doing it so often, it just becomes so convoluted and so insanely complex to keep track of all these payments that might as well just not do it at that point. According to the S&P Global FinLit survey, only 57% of US adults are financially literate. You know, good job, United States, but only 57% are financially literate, which means the rest, all they're going to see is smaller number is better than big number. It's a good business model. I mean, what can I say? Automated payments can also lead to a set it and forget it mentality, and it usually causes users to lose track of their spending. They're going to pay the first payment and then forget that the payments even existed past that first installment. A survey by Credit Karma found that 34% of buy now, pay later users have fallen behind on 1 or more payments. That's a pretty big chunk. Missing one payment can lead to a cycle of debt as users take on more purchases to cover existing obligations. Again, you can do buy now, pay later for everything, so I gotta pay $100 for groceries, I only got $25. Let's do that, and then it's a domino effect. It takes a lot to get out of it. Buy now, pay later late fees can often exceed credit card interest rates. I had a friend who bought something online. He purchased an ET doll, like a life-size ET figure, like one of those fleshy, like stretchy ones. It was a few $100s, I believe. It was like $300 to $400. He was basically paying 30% interest. My Apple card isn't even 30% interest, and Apple's really out to get you. And theirs is like 26, 27%. 30 is just crazy. Unpaid buy now, pay later debts can be sent to collections, and if you've ever had anything sent to collections, I've had one thing from an old apartment complex. It tanked my credit score by about 100 points. You know, if you're buying a car, buying a house, that is almost a couple interest points worth of credit score. If you don't want to think about financial, we can also do practical. Imagine how hard it's going to be to manage multiple buy now, pay later accounts with multiple different due dates. I'd kill myself, honestly, like in game. I owe this much on this date and this date for Afterpay. I owe this much and this much on this date and this date for Klarna. That in and of itself should be enough to stay away from it, or, you know, be responsible with it. Buy now, pay later providers usually specifically target the younger consumers through social media. You know, some influencers I've seen promote buy now, pay later services. I have a lot of friends who've gone into this. My girlfriend, who's a similar age, fell into this trap. It targets us specifically because it doesn't expect us to know any better. I think that says enough, but you know, someone could justify responsibly, but I don't think this should be something that people use, especially with the timing. DoorDash partnering with Klarna to do over $35 orders when the job market is at almost an all-time low. You know, people can't get jobs, people aren't making that much money, tariffs destroying the stock market, everything going on, and they're like, you know what, we can make people feel better by letting them pay less for their food immediately, but then try and profit off of their late payments. Because if you're paying in 4 payments a burrito for $12, you shouldn't even be ordering DoorDash in the first place. Some tips for avoiding the trap. You can do a budget. I have a step-by-step guide on creating a budget. I'll link that up here. There's also a different budgeting strategy. Holy shit. If you don't want to create a physical budget, you can do what I do. It's something like the 50-30-20 rule. Again, I have a video on that. If you really want to use buy now, pay later, treat it as like any other debt. Pay it off as soon as possible. And then I think the big one, if you don't have the money to buy it in full, don't buy it at all. I think if there's one thing to focus on, I think it's that one. If you don't have the money to buy it in full, don't buy it at all. In conclusion, I think there are hardly any upside to buy now, pay later services. It comes with a lot of psychological traps. There's not a lot of consumer protections all around. I think there's way too many risks. Please educate yourself financially. There's a lot of resources for improving financial literacy. I'm not going to say that I'm one of those resources, but there's a lot of bigger channels. Vincent Chan, Call to Leap. A lot of these channels are really nice. I want to try and do my best to educate everyone on what I've learned the last like 6-7 years on my own, and the last like 3-4 years working in the professional industry. Please be educated, look at resources, and teach yourself these things so you aren't part of that 43% that isn't financially literate. Lastly, I want to know from my 2 people that are going to watch this if you've had any positive or negative experience with buy now, pay later, so other people can see more anecdotal evidence of why you just shouldn't use this. I appreciate you for watching. This was really hard to make. This is the first face cam video that I'm making. Really hard, really anxious while making this, but if I can help one person avoid this trap, then I've done my job. If you're at all interested in any of the background footage that you're seeing, I split my original channel into 2 different ones to pursue my 2 different passions. This one is mostly just more editing, more stuff related to the finance. I made another channel, I'll link it down below. I have a video already uploaded. Currently this season on Marvel Rivals, I'm GM2. If you want to see some cool stuff, I'm starting a new challenge. Hopefully it'll be up by the time this comes out. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Desktop Goose application. The Goose pulls images and memes and whatnot, and it blocks my screen while I'm playing Marvel Rivals. The goal is to get to GM again while doing that. Hopefully that's something cool that I want to try. Again, if you're at all interested in gameplay focused stuff with some light editing and some commentary, you can go to my other channel. I'll link it down below. And yeah, I appreciate you for watching and have a good day.